My name is D. Smith, SGR Music Group, the label steward. Um, this is one of the places where it just all took off for me. I started, I guess I fell in love with music, back in the early 90s, around, 1990, 91, somewhere in that area. And really started in Dallas, North Texas. Met a guy by the name of Azim Rashad. You know what I'm saying? He was down with a group called Nemesis on Profile Records. Then I took a couple of road trips with Nemesis and I got bit by the bug. And, from there to here has been a whole lot of ups and downs, been a whole lot of transitions. But I remember, being a young kid and I used to break out my father's LPs. And back then he used to listen to folks like Louis Armstrong, Billie Holiday, James Brown, Herbie Hancock. Music, it was just infectious. It was just something I always knew I wanted to be involved in. I didn't know the capacity that I was going to be involved, but I did know at a young age that, yeah, I want to be somewhere in the mix of this music, man. It all started, man. Like I say, I've been around music a long time. But it wasn't until I got back to Houston, after I had experienced some things with Nemesis or working around Nemesis, being with them, being around those guys, coming back, working with Big Boss, 4D, Boss, who gave me a whole lot of game when I first got back to Houston. It was urban music. We didn't sugarcoat nothing. It's everything that went on in the hood, so to speak. A lot of people call it gangster music, G music, whatever. But it was what it was. It was reality music. Sometimes in life, man, you come to the crossroads. You got to determine, what path, what track you want to get on. You know what I'm saying? You want to be on the right track, you want to be on the wrong track or whatnot. And so, I started to transition more from wanting to be on the front line, the fame, but I wanted to focus more on the fortune aspect. I wanted to be the power broker in this independent game. And, I gave it what I had, but at the expense sometimes of wanting it so bad, then you started to compromise. The music we was putting out was all about, it was gangsterism. You know what I'm saying? And, man, hey, I wanted to be a gangster too, so to speak. And so you start doing things that real gangsters do. And, ended up costing me, getting a charge. I got a pistol charge, having pistols on me, caught up in the drinking, the marijuana smoking, that whole nine. And I can't tell you at the time that, it wasn't what I wanted to do because I wanted to do it, but I didn't realize, when you're blind, man. I didn't realize that the music was having a negative impact on me until I crashed and I hit that wall and say, wow, I'm in a spot that I don't even know if I can get out of. At the point I lost my peace, was probably the point I decided, it's time for a change. What I'm having to become to make it in this music industry is not who I am as a person, and I just had to get real with that, you know what I mean? And the whole bottom line is, I remember the conversation my mom saying, you need some wisdom. I ain't talking about wisdom you get from school and all of that. You need some godly wisdom. And the conversation got a little deeper or whatnot, but it stuck in the back of my head. And being in Brazoria County, man, ending up in that place where I never thought I would be is when my mom's words, they rung loud and clear in my mind. And, I say, what, it's a clean break. I'm going to make a clean break from this music, this whole music thing, and I'm going to try to get my life together. But I guess when God started opening me up to music again was when it wasn't about the music. I think I had started making music my God. At least that's what I was doing. I didn't have any awareness of it then. But once I began to concentrate on Him, I started realizing, and it was after I read this in Proverbs 16:3, it says, commit thy works to God and thy plan shall succeed. Well, what was I doing? What was my works? My works had been, up to that point, music. And that's how Gladiator Music was formed, or SGR Music Group, Southern Gospitality Music. I realized at that point, man, that everything that I had done in the past, all my involvement with music, Being in the environment around the people that I was around was God preparing me for a work that He wanted to do through music. Um, but it was to reach the unchurched, to reach people that was in the same circles that I was in, to reach people that who had the same experiences in life that I'd had, but also folks that experienced even more. So it's not necessarily the music. I enjoy the music, but now the music has a higher purpose, and that's where my fulfillment comes from.